Common App is a website that shows you how to apply to colleges, and you can do one application and it applies you to several different colleges. On it, you do have to add the counselor, and so by adding the counselor, I then go in and I upload your transcripts. I can write a letter of recommendation for you, but you have to ask me, preferably nicely and with time in advance. And that can really speed along the process too.
In 1975, we created a simpler way to apply for college. One application, 15 forward-thinking institutions. Today, we connect more than 1 million students each year to nearly 900 colleges and universities around the world. But the path to higher education has changed. While anyone can find it at any time in their life, not everyone does. We're here to clear the way for all students, no matter where they start, to help them reach their goals, to help them reach higher. We support those who need it most by making the application simple, the process logical, and the experience joyful, celebrating and supporting the people, students, counselors, and admissions professionals who forge a better future together. We are Common App.
And this is also another short video on just how to create your first account. So I'm just gonna play just a portion of this so that you're familiar with it as well.
Hi, it's Stephanie from Common App. Let's take a look at how you can create a first-year Common App account. To create a first-year Common App account, use the Create Account button on commonapp.org. First, you're asked what kind of account you want to create. You can use the information icon to learn more about each type of account. For this video, we're going to create a first-year student account. First, you'll enter your email address and choose a password. Make sure to choose an email you check often. This email is how Common App and colleges you're applying to will get in touch with you. You'll also use this email to log into your account each time. Next, you'll enter your name, phone number, and date of birth. Be sure to use your legal name as it appears on official documents. This will help colleges to match documents with the correct applicant. Then, use the Add Address button to enter your address. First, select the country, and then type in your address. Select your address from the results given. If you don't see your address in the list, you can enter the correct information manually. Next, you're asked if you are currently based in a European Union country and when you plan to start college. Finally, you'll review and affirm some statements in the Common App privacy policy. Please take some time to carefully read and check the affirmation before continuing. When you're ready, use the Create Account button to complete the process. And that's it. Now that you understand how to create a Common App account, you're ready to get started.
So I'll go here and log in again to my account that I created so you can see where to go to add me as your counselor. So here's my dashboard. You can click on my colleges and you can search. I went ahead and added the University of Florida. So it shows you exactly what to do for the process. You'll have general questions to answer about academics, family, emergency contact, Florida residency, as I mentioned. So if you use the Common App, it's already done in there. Conduct disclosure, so if you've had discipline issues, they do want to know about that. Not that getting a detention will keep you from going to college, but if there is something that is more serious, then they want to know about it. It doesn't necessarily mean that you won't get into college. They just might have a conversation with you about it. And certification as well, that everything looks correct. So under the recommenders function, it looks like you actually have to complete everything before you get here, but there's a little add counselor recommender. Make sure to click that button so it'll come to my portal where I'll be able to upload that information. So it gives that contact information as well. You can also do college search here, profile, financial aid resources. Pretty much all of them have ways to search for colleges. That's pretty much built in now. And the one other thing I was going to say, oh yes, okay. So you'll see like application deadlines. So this is for Florida. I choose this because it's local, but certainly I do recommend other colleges and going elsewhere. I think every student has a different experience, and therefore different colleges serve different purposes, and different colleges are great. I just use this because it's close. And I'll talk about Santa Fe on here as well. Santa Fe is not on the Common App, but I'll talk about that in just a second. So hang tight. There is usually a fee for applications. Again, if you do qualify for free and reduced lunch, I have a fee waiver for that as well. But do know that you have fees for these applications. And this is just for UF. So I'm using this as an example because some do require a personalized writing essay, some do not. And so Ms. Faust in English 4 works with seniors on writing those essays so that you're prepared. They do have essay prompts. I also review essays as well. And then you'll see here, there is priority decision date. So for UF is kind of that first priority decision date. That is November 1st. That's a hard deadline at 11:59. There will be deadlines that go up until about March of your senior year, but this is the first one. Some have you report your transcript. To send your transcript, you want to have Miss Lamar Randolph send it. So you just come to Student Services and just ask her if you can kindly have your transcript sent to colleges. This SSAR, the SAR report, that's a self-reporting service. So not all require that you have an unofficial transcript right away. Some actually want you to report it. So you'll want to make note of that deadline, because even though UF's deadline to submit your application is November 1st, then December 1st is the SAR report. And then you'll notice their next application is December 15th to submit official ACT and SAT score reports. In order for those score reports to be submitted, you get up to 4 free score reports to go to different colleges. In order for Bright Futures to get them, you must send them to at least one university. So you'll want to send them to, say you're going to Santa Fe, but you're also trying to get Bright Futures. You want to send them to Santa Fe, and then you want to send them to another state university, maybe like UNF or something. So that way Bright Futures is getting updated with it. When you register, you get those 4 free ones. If you want to add that later on, you just have to pay. You can still do that, but you just have to pay. So I'll navigate away from here. I think we're pretty much done with this section of it, and that wraps that up. I'll speed through some of the next of it. This is just a timeline to kind of gauge where you're at. After your 11th grade year, during the summer, you want to do maybe some college visits. This is going to be a little tricky for you guys. I realize that right now we're in the middle of our social distancing. And so I realize it's going to be trickier to visit colleges, as many programs are moved online, but you can still visit in the fall when they've opened back up. Many colleges are online for summer as well as spring semester right now. And some institutions are actually doing a virtual tour. Just go ahead and contact their admissions office and get connected so you can see what is available for you to tour. Many admissions officers are still working remotely, so you can still email them. You can still call them on the phone and ask the questions, but it's a little trickier right now, I'll be honest. Summer job internship camps are good opportunities to do over the summer. Again, I realize things are a little tricky right now. If you have to do a credit retrieval, like make up a credit from your junior year, email me or Miss Allen or Mr. McElroy, and we will work with you guys to set that up, whether it's Ingenuity or Florida Virtual School. You want to begin your senior year with at least 18 credits. Be involved in extracurricular activities, because as you saw in the Common App, there is a place for you to input your extracurricular activities, taking on leadership positions. So that could be in your academy, that could be Skills USA, that could be the certifications you're earning, that could be volunteer hours, or something that you enjoy, like if you play sports or in Boy Scouts. There's a number of different things, or theater, or drama, or choir. Those all count. I'll move along. In the fall, you want to register and take an ACT or SAT. I'll have those dates momentarily. Establish deadlines and a calendar for yourself. You want to fill out the FAFSA October 1st. Also consider what teachers you might need to write you a letter of recommendation. Many scholarships and some colleges require that letter of recommendation. So again, it adds that personal touch to talk about your character and who you are. It can really complete your application for college. but don't send letters of recommendation to schools that do not ask for them. That can actually negatively affect you. So with asking for a letter of recommendations, our teachers are great about writing them. Just give them a little time. Try to give them at least 2 weeks, and maybe even longer if it's like, end of the semester. Complete your academic resume. Miss Faust has you write one, but that one is helpful to list all those extracurricular activities. Turn in your community service hours to me. I have the form in my office. Right now you can email them to me and I'll still make sure they're in. The form can also be found on Alachua County Public Schools website. Just make sure you get everything in. Spring semester, you want to make sure that February is prime time for scholarships with the Education Foundation and Santa Fe. So it's scholarship season. I will be on the news a lot. You guys have probably already experienced that. So there's the SAR report for reporting your grades. This is the student aid report for FAFSA. So that comes back in the spring. So then FAFSA, how that works, they're going to let you know how much each school offers you for financial aid. And so you can work with the financial aid office to even, if you want, bargain a little bit with your student aid report. So again, if you have questions about the FAFSA, come to one of those FAFSA nights. I will show you the ins and outs of that. Watch for more deadlines regarding orientation, selecting housing, a meal plan. Pretty much your institution, that college, whether it's Santa Fe, whether it's University of North Florida, they become more and more important as they're going to give you directions and deadlines, and that's going to come through that student email. So become best friends with the financial aid office at your institution. They also deal with Florida prepaid, so make sure that you're contacting them. And then also, once you finalize your plans, they will ask for a final transcript. Again, send that to either to me or Miss Lamar Randolph. We'll get that sent off. I have some tips on how to write a winning college essay, but know the prompt, brainstorm a meaningful experience. You don't necessarily have to have traveled to a million places. It could be a relationship that's really important to you, like maybe writing about your grandmother or grandfather who's had an impact on you. Oftentimes, admissions counselors want to see how you as a student will impact their campus positively. So spend some time researching schools and their core values. Write an outline, proofread. Ask people to proofread. That's like the biggest thing I can tell you. You don't want to have grammatical errors in it. And tie up loose ends with a theme. I've gone over the timeline. I have these resources in here that are college checklists, and then specifically Santa Fe releases a senior checklist for their institution. I have both of those in my guidance office and we'll email those out. I wanted to briefly touch on the different types of degrees. And also I have here the average annualized earnings for education level. So you have the certificate, which is usually just 1 year, and then you go to work. You have an Associates of Science, which is 2 years, and then you're going to work. Both of these have very high earnings. And so I want to encourage you that if you don't feel like college is for you, but you also are still looking for a stable job, these might be some great options. They sometimes don't get enough limelight because so often the traditional 4-year degree is highlighted, and I still think that's a great route. It just depends on you. All of them can offer you some really great opportunities. So a lot of trades are certificate and AS degrees. So if you go over here, the median wage is that first yellow line on the right side. And then over here, and I actually have this in front of me as well. Over here is the threshold of high wage. So they have the minimum wage at $16,000 annually, and then a high skill, high wage threshold as $45,000 annually. And you'll notice that with an AS degree, the average AS degree makes $47,000 a year, which is a very good salary to live off of. High school graduates, the annual average salary is $24,000, which overall, to support an entire family on it would be very, very difficult, if I'm being quite frank with you. And so I just encourage to seek out something. The military has some great options as well. And I will talk about the ASVAB. We do offer the ASVAB annually. Some of you took that during, I believe it was January or February. And yesterday I did have a ASVAB career webinar as well that I'll be posting on my Google Classroom. And that gives you a breakdown of the 5 branches, and also it tests your ability. It gives you an overall score that they're looking for to have entrance into the military. You want to start working with recruiters if you're thinking of the military as well. So I went over certificate, Associates of Science, and AA, Associates of Arts, is a partial degree. They do expect that you would then complete that degree at a university to get your bachelor's and then work. You can go on and get your master's, your doctorate, a professional degree. So if you're still deciding on major and career, your major doesn't always equal your career. I can talk more about this in a separate webinar. I'm really passionate about this. I love getting to work with students on choosing their major and their career path. So that'll be next week, May 6th at noon on Zoom. So I'll be sending out links for that too. It's a tutorial on My Career Shines. Some of you might have already gotten that. I did do that with 2 of Miss Faust's classrooms through her English classes, and hadn't planned to do more until we were out of school. But it helps you plan for your education future, and it has you take specific inventories that identifies your unique strengths, your interests, and your workplace values. Based on the data you provide, they're kind of like personality quizzes. Based on that data, it compiles a list of suggestions of career paths for you that you might enjoy. And so it's really awesome. Can't wait to explain more about it.